What's up, everyone? Travis here, broker with eXp Realty, and I want to jump on quick and piggyback on my last video regarding Bram West. My last video, I talked about how much we love living in this neighborhood. So obviously with pros, there's always going to be cons. So I wanted to talk about the negatives when living in Bram West. And guys, I make videos like this all the time, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions about certain neighborhoods, comment down below and I'll do my best to make those videos. All right, so now let's get into this list. Obviously, we love Bram West. We love it. We've been living there for about 2 years, going on 3 years now. It's been great. We've never had an issue. But again, there are some negatives, just like with anything. So let's go through them. The first thing I wanted to talk about is public transit. If you do not have a vehicle, it might be a little bit hard for you. Now, typically, the demographic in this neighborhood will have vehicles because it's a little bit of a more higher end community. But as we're driving around, we notice that public transit isn't around. Now, it exists and people definitely do take it, but compared to other places that we have lived, we've noticed that the public transit seems to be lacking a little bit, as we don't see buses that often, and obviously there's no streetcars or anything like that. So if you do not have a vehicle, if you have younger children or more elderly people living around that don't have access to vehicles, it might be a little bit harder to get around. Now, the second point, piggybacking off of the first point, is that there's not really that many stores that are walking distance. Now, things aren't completely out of the way, and you could walk, but at the same time, it's definitely going to be harder, especially in those colder months of the year. There are gas stations and everything that are somewhat walking distance that have Tim Hortons and some other like fast food restaurants, but if you needed to get to a Shoppers Drug Mart, the closest one is about 5 minutes away, and that's driving. So if you needed to walk there, it would definitely take up a better part of your day. Just notice that there's not that many stores that are walking distance in this area. And in the last video, my third point, I talked about how it's great for dog parents, but one of the negatives that we've noticed in this area is that there's no 24-hour vet clinic or animal hospital. Do have a pet, or if you have a dog, any kind of pet, take that into consideration when looking in this area, that if there are emergencies, the closest 24-hour hospital is about 20 minutes away. So if there are issues or anything like that, you have to take that in consideration, know your fastest route to get there, and just be aware of that. And the next point, a little bit of a fatty point, but regardless, there's not that many great restaurants in this area. It is a newer community, and we've seen a lot of buildings go up, new commercial retail restaurants go up, but it's all your typical fast food places and chain restaurants like Kelsey's and stuff. So yeah, there's some good selection of fast food restaurants or fast food places like Harvey's, Osmow's, Burrito Boys, all that kind of stuff. But if you want something more authentic or a little bit more high end, you're gonna have to drive to a different place because we just don't have it in this community. And again, piggybacking on that point, I just don't like the grocery stores in this area. Chalo and No Frills are great, but I wish we had a high-end grocery store closer by, like a Fortino's or a Longo's. Now, I know that's a little bit more nitpicky, but it's just for produce and for meats and, you know, bakeries. I love those grocery stores a lot, and I just hate that I have to drive like 20 minutes to get to them. And then my second last point, it kind of depends, because right now it's like one of the best times you could ever buy, especially in this area, but the lack of affordable housing is a negative for this area. And like anything, obviously this is a better community, so you're gonna pay a premium for that, but I just find that there's a lot of detached homes. There's not really that many entry-level homes like townhomes and semis, and those type of products in this area are still around that $1 million mark. So I just find that affordability is not 100% there. But again, as I said, it's a little bit more of a premium. Most detached houses in this area go for about 1.4 all the way up to about mid 3 million. So you're gonna pay a premium to be in this area, and with that, it's gonna come with less affordable housing. And then finally, this is gonna be a big one because a lot of people just don't want to live in Brampton just based on the stigma. And we see that a lot, as whenever people come to our house and they see our neighborhood, they question that this is Brampton. It's sort of situated right in the corner of Brampton, so you're right on the border of Mississauga and Milton and Halton Hills. So it doesn't really have that same feeling of Brampton. But at the end of the day, whenever you tell people that you're living in Brampton, people are going to look at you sideways because the stigma of Brampton has been so negative in the last few years that it's just what it is. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously, we love living in this area, but at the same time, there are some negatives. So if you are thinking about trying to move in Bram West, make sure you reach out to me and I'll give you my best opinion on the best areas in the city, and we'll do all that we can to make it an easy transition. But guys, if you enjoy videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I try to make these videos weekly, so if you have any questions or any requests on certain neighborhoods in the GTA, make sure you comment below and I'll do my best to make those videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take it easy.